Hi, Russ Miller, Off-Grid Creationist here. I was just looking at our generator. When we bought the place, it had a Kohler generator that was set up to run the whole house. But when that went bad, we had to replace it. And when I saw that they cost $7,000, I said, you know, I don't want to spend $7,000 on a generator. We don't use that often because our solar system is really, really good and powerful. So I got a Champion portable 10,000 watt generator, and that absolutely charges the batteries if we need them, if it's on a snowy day or we get a couple rainy days in a row. We really don't use it that often, and this works perfect for our needs. That cage around it, that is my mouse-proof cage. Yes, a mouse cannot get through there, and it protects the generator. But mice and generators and electric power, that's not what I wanted to talk about.
Time now. Darwinism on its own didn't have any way to add new and beneficial genetic information to power macroevolutionary change. Neo-Darwinism is mutations create the new and beneficial genetic information. That's what makes things better, mutations. Any of you fathers or grandfathers ever be in a waiting room for a child or a grandchild to be born? You ever be praying that they're mutated? Yeah. Fact. After millions of experiments on mutations, we see that they result from the sorting or the loss of the starting functional genetic information. They produce weaker and weaker gene pools, and I'll show you here in a couple of minutes how to scientifically destroy Darwinism in 4 seconds flat. Darwinian lie number 4 is that micro and macroevolution are the same thing. There's some scientists and engineers in here. You know, in real science and in real engineering, don't we break things down to the millionth of a degree? Try to get them to define the word evolution, they will refuse to do it. Because if they made a distinction between micro and macroevolution, everyone would see there's no Darwinian macroevolution to show anybody. So let's show me an example here. Microevolution is a scientific fact. Millions of examples are found. It's just kinds bringing forth after their kind. It'd be better to get the word evolution out of there. Darwinists love it to confuse the issue. But micro change is caused by the sorting or loss of genetic information. You go down to the pound and get 2 dogs. Mutts work the best. They have the widest gene pool. Get a male and a female and start breeding dogs together. After 100 years, you might have all 350 types of dogs we have on Earth today. How many non-dogs would you get? You know, macro changes. Horses, cows, pumpkins, whatever. What do you think? See, that would be macroevolution. Macro is one kind like a bacteria cell changing into a higher life form. There are no examples that this has ever happened. But scientifically correct micro is all that's ever seen. Kinds bring forth after their kinds. People bring forth people, dogs bring forth dogs, cattle bring forth cattle, etc. Why is it vital for Christians, especially students, to understand that kinds bring forth after their kind? That's a scientific fact. It's the only thing it's ever seen. Why is that vital for kids to understand? Because 10 times in the book of Genesis, we're told plants or animals will bring forth after their kind. And here we are, 3,000 plus years later, after millions of scientific observations and studies, all we find is kinds only bring forth after their kind. Just like the Word of God told us 10 times in the book of Genesis. Here's an issue with micro-adaptations. They also result from the sorting of the loss of the starting functional genetic information. Gene pools get weaker and weaker as they lose information. Gene depletion. That's what breeders use. If you want to get a purebred, you use gene depletion to lose all the other information you don't want till you've got a purebred that only has the genetic information to produce what you want. So kids are given lots of examples of biblically correct micro change. Then they switch the discussion to Darwinian macroevolution, and kids think they've been shown all sorts of information that the Bible's a fraud and that Darwinian evolution is true, when all they've really been shown is the Bible's true, but there's nobody there to explain this. And that's why it's vital that we get this information to our kids. Darwinists focus the discussion on biblically correct micro change because they don't have any evidence of macroevolution to show anybody. They never have. They never will. And here's how I show how to destroy Darwinism in 4 seconds flats. Gene depletion plus natural selection makes Darwinism impossible. Stop your watch. Natural selection, there is no selector standing there. That's what we call a term when things get too weak and they die off. I call it God's QA program. If things went unremoved from the gene pool, they'd corrupt the gene pool, everything would go extinct in about 1,500 years. But they lose too much information, they die off. God's QA program, preserving the originally created gene pools and keeping things strong.
And my friends, that is what I wanted to talk about. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked the video and like to help us get this information to others, please subscribe to our videos and share them with others. Visit our website, or if you'd like to even become a partner with us, hit the button below. We sure appreciate that. Have a great day.